We are recording. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with Ramen Robbie. He's agreed to this interview with me. This has been in the works for quite a while. So again, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I guess where to start? So I guess how's your channel doing? How are things with you?
The channel, it is what it is. I feel like I had a hot start back in the day. I think 2018, I got a pretty hot start. Like my first four videos, I think all did really well. But, ever since then, it's been kind of just very slow. The growth's been very slow. So it is what it is. I enjoy it regardless.
I'm I'm quite a fan of a couple of your videos. My favorite one is probably Joseph Brown.
Can you repeat that? I think you're breaking up a little bit.
You got that?
Yeah. So your favorite video is 2007 Browns video?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that was like one of my well, I think the Browns Steelers one was the first video I ever actually made, but that 2007 Browns one, that was I spent a lot of time on that because I graduated college in August of 2018. So and I was at my parents', so I had a lot of downtime, and I just spent like a good 2-3 months just working on that. And to this day, that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of.
And I'm glad you are because a couple of my favorite players was on that team because you guys took Willie Guinness from us.
Yeah. Who else do you like?
Um, fan of I think Jamal Lewis because I'm a really likes bruiser backs, big power backs. Just I like that he was at least able to get a couple extra seasons while he was on mounds and at least give you guys something to root for.
Yeah, he had 1,300 yards that year. He really turned a lot of heads because at that time the narrative was that he was over the hill.
He torched the Jets for like 200 that year.
I don't think he had 200, but it was a lot. And he had that famous run where like everybody was just bragging off of him.
Yeah, that that's definitely my favorite power runs, and I think it's gone down as like one of the best of the 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be up there.
It didn't make that year, and some of those players have now become infamous in other ways. But I think it was a nice it was a nice look into that year and how they almost met.
Yeah, it was because at that time that was really the only because I started watching the Browns in 2004, and really at that point that was the only like great season I've ever seen. So I decided to just like make a documentary about it. I mean, it was kind of like a parody in a way because it was kind of poking fun at the fact that their best season since whatever was a season that they didn't even make the playoffs. So it was kind of like, in a way, it was kind of like ironic, but at the same time, I thought it was a significant season in Browns history.
I think I brought this up to you in one of your streams. Have you ever considered doing a video 89 rounds? Because they were the team in 4 years to make the AFC Championship game, and again lost to the Broncos, but nobody ever talks about it.
You said 89 Browns?
Yes.
No, I haven't really thought about that because I'm not, I don't hide from things. I'm really only an expert about expansion Brown stuff. And I wouldn't have the insight to like make a video that detailed about the 89 Browns. Like I know the basic outline stuff. Like I know who Bernie Kosar is and obviously Biner and Brian Brennan, people like that. But like I don't remember what. Obviously, I wasn't around back then, so I don't know what like the news stories were saying, and I don't know what the narratives were. So it's hard to like add a lot of insight to it.
Mm. That's fair. And
I'm
I
not
like
saying I
that
never
you
would do it,
draw the
but
line from like the old Browns to the expansion.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I never would do it. It would just take a lot of research because I've done older videos before. Like I did that Bounty Bowl video a couple months ago, but that just it takes a lot of research, you know.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Stick to what you're doing good, and just I mean, if it's working, why do something different?
Right.
So, what made you want to maybe start doing live stream stuff,
Live
like
streams, that
with the
was
old football games?
yeah, so the live stream started during the pandemic. That was because I was still living with my parents, unfortunately, after college at that point. And originally anticipating moving down to Columbus, but the pandemic slowed everything down, so I was still trapped there. And that was just it just seemed like a good idea just to start live streaming video games. And I used to have a few drinks on the air in those days, so I had a little bit of fun with that. And it was fun. It was fun to have a little community that would watch you every week.
Yeah, me included. The- though I could one asshole that would just come on there to rack everybody's nerves. I can't remember his name, but he would just constantly be a troll the whole damn video.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He still comes in there, but I don't I don't know what to do about it. I just it is what it is.
Though at least those spice things up, at least give it that much.
Yeah, I'd rather have some publicity. Like I always say, I'd rather have a troll than like nobody watching at all.
I actually went to great lengths to find NFL 2K5. They are very hard to find.
NFL
So,
2K5, I feel like I've seen that quite a bit at used game stores.
yeah, I put in an order and I was able to get it for $15. I played in it. It is a very fun game compared to the games today. Like not even close. They were onto something back then. To just sad that they'll never get to do it again until the NFL wise up and ends their error with.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me that, man. I've been saying that since 2006, probably when I first started really playing that game a lot. And every year I've been saying that to myself like every year. Just I can't believe this game had to stop. You know, right in the middle of its prime. Like imagine what it would be today. And you know, it's a first world problem,
Yeah,
but
it would.
it's a real tragedy.
Yeah, and the trying is NFL, not NFL, All Pro 2K, either 7 or 8, came out in '07 when they bought the rights to like 200 former NFL players likenesses and had like that video game, and it was just as successful in terms of gameplay and visuals as to NFL 2K5, but didn't sell well.
Yeah, all pro football 2K8. That's yeah, it's they kind of copy and pasted a lot of 2K5 into that game, and you can kind of see it at times. Like they use the same commentary,
Yeah, but
and it's not a
yeah,
bad game. Don't get me wrong. I've just never been crazy about it. The gameplay is obviously superior to Madden, but that's not really a game I've gone back and played a lot though.
for some reason I can't find it anywhere. And if I do find it, it's like for 50 or $70, and I ain't gonna pay 50, $70, even though I do want it. It's only
Yeah,
one game.
yeah, I was lucky. I picked it up like back in 2011 for like probably $5 somewhere, and that was a good decision because it's probably hard to find now.
You you were very lucky.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guess I also want to address the elephant in the room. I don't know if you addressed this in one of your other videos. How do you feel about Watson as a Browns fan?
Yeah. So I usually, if you follow me on Twitter, you should pick up on that. I never talk politics or social issues or anything like that because I just feel like there's so much of that out there. It's just so that I kind of considered like that under that umbrella. But I mean, I understand both sides of it. I understand people who are repulsed by it. I totally get it. And I get people who think that, he has his day in court, all that, people say like, oh, he was found not guilty. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any great insights into, like what's fair and what's not fair. So I don't, my opinion doesn't really matter, honestly, but he's my quarterback right now. That's just kind of how it is,
How take out like I guess the politics of it. I guess do you think he is under more pressure than compared to Michael Vick when he came back into the league, or he's under less pressure?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I don't know. I remember Michael Vick coming back, but I don't really remember like how much controversy there was, if I'm being honest. So it's hard to make that comparison.
That's fair. And that's fair. How, my personal opinion about Baker is that I think he got screwed in his last season and how people's perception about him. Because my feelings, he was hurt to hell and back again. Like he shouldn't have been playing. He still gutted it out. He still wanted to play leader. But I feel like some people kind of turned on him because of that, because they weren't winning. And so he kind of got screwed when they then kind of just traded him, even though he was very far from being healthy, but still at least tried. How are your feelings on that?
You're just asking like my opinion on the whole Baker Mayfield saga.
Yeah.
I was a big fan when he was here. I really was, because people did say he was immature, and I get that, but I kind of like looked at it in the sense that like I think you have to have that attitude, that bravado, that confidence, whatever, to overcome the stigma of Cleveland quarterbacks, because I think it's really daunting when you come into this place where it's just a quarterback graveyard and you see, everybody's seeing the jersey with all the names. I think that can really get to you. So I think that's why I put up with kind of I don't want to say childishness, but a lot of the stuff that was probably the stuff that was better left unsaid that he would say. I just kind of put up with it because I thought, it's his attitude, and you need that to be a Cleveland quarterback. So I embraced him for all that, and then obviously his rookie year, he set the rookie record for touchdown passes. Or did he set it, or did he tie it? I don't remember.
The record was I think 30.
And so after his rookie year, obviously everybody was bought in. The entire city thought he was the guy. And then, his second year, I just called it a sophomore slump because, they had an enormous amount of expectations. And, the OBJ drama, everything. And Freddie Kitchens shouldn't have been the guy driving that ship, steering that ship. So, I just said, whatever, sophomore slump. And then he comes back his third year and he makes the playoffs. And, he looks like the Baker from his rookie year. So I was all in the first 3 years for sure. Then the fourth year comes, and they didn't really have any excuse to not succeed that season. They improved even more in the offseason. They plugged in all the holes, whether it was John Johnson, Jadeveon Clowney, I think Troy Hill. Was that one of them? One of their additions? So I thought, the hype's real going into 2021. They're going to be even better. but then it didn't work out. Long story short, it didn't work out. It's people talk about the shoulder injury, whatever that was. I don't know if it was the Texans game or the Cardinals game. Obviously, the Texans game was the initial injury, but then the Cardinals game, he injured it further. I don't know. Was it really the Cardinals one that screwed things up? I don't know. But I think the injury probably played a role. And, the OBJ stuff really just kind of reached its tipping point. I think that kind of divided the locker room. The relationship with Stefanski that's a question mark to this day. I don't think anybody really knows what was going on there, like how deep that went. But I don't know. This is kind of a long answer. I forget what the original question was.
No, I think you're answering it perfectly.
Yeah. And look, I guess I can wrap it up by saying this. At the time, I think I was, it's like when you're in a relationship, you get you're blinded by love, I guess. So I was convinced that he could have been the franchise quarterback, but I think now that I'm removed from it, I don't think he ever could have been a guy that could lead you down the field, with in obvious passing situations. It did happen once against the Bengals, right, in 2020. It kind of happened against the Bills in 2019, but he just wasn't able to do that, it didn't seem like. So I kind of understood moving off of him, although it was emotional, though, So that's not an easy thing for me to say, because I definitely developed an attachment to him while he was here.
Do you like that he's at least still getting chances at the time being?
Yeah, for sure. I think no offense to him, I think he was destined to fail in Carolina. I mean, that was a terrible team, and he was traded there so late. And and then in Los Angeles, he was just I don't know what the potential was really there, but he played well in a few games with the Rams, and then now he's in Tampa Bay. So wish him the best of luck, especially now that he's in the NFC. So don't have to worry about competition or anything like that. Well, I guess he was always in the NFC, but